Have you ever wondered if there are signs your body gives you when time is running short? Signs that most people miss because no one wants to talk about them. Picture this. An elderly father sits quietly in his favorite chair, barely touching his dinner for the third night in a row. His daughter notices he seems more tired lately, sleeping longer, speaking less. She tells herself it's just normal aging, that he's having an off week. But deep in her heart, she feels something shifting, something she can't quite name. Across America, millions of families are living this exact moment right now, sensing changes they don't understand, changes that make them feel helpless and afraid. Here's the truth no one wants to discuss openly. Your body actually sends clear, unmistakable signals when it begins preparing for life's final chapter. These aren't the usual aches and pains of getting older. These are 7 specific warning signs that doctors and hospice workers recognize immediately. Signs that can help families transition from fear and confusion to understanding and peace. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share these 7 critical signs with you, not to frighten you, but to give you the knowledge that can transform your final weeks or months with a loved one into a time of connection, comfort, and dignity. Because when you know what to look for, you can stop worrying about the unknown and start focusing on what really matters. Love, presence, and making sure no one you care about has to face this journey alone. Number 1, understanding your body's final messages. Your body has been your faithful companion for decades, carrying you through every joy and sorrow. But what happens when it begins to whisper that the journey is nearing its end? Most of us spend our lives ignoring these quiet signals, dismissing them as just another part of getting older. We tell ourselves that feeling different is normal, that changes are just temporary setbacks we can push through with enough willpower. But here's what every family needs to understand. When death approaches, your body doesn't just shut down randomly. It follows a gentle, predictable pattern that has guided human endings for thousands of years. These aren't cruel tricks or medical emergencies to fight against. They're nature's way of preparing both you and your loved ones for the most natural transition of all. Think of it like the changing seasons. Just as autumn leaves don't fall suddenly, but gradually shift color and release their hold on the branch, your body gives clear signs when it's time to let go. The challenge is that our culture teaches us to see every physical change as a battle to win. We rush to doctors, demand treatments, and exhaust ourselves, trying to reverse what may actually be a peaceful, natural process. This fighting spirit serves us well in many parts of life, but sometimes the most loving thing we can do is recognize when the fight is over and shift our focus to comfort, presence, and dignity. When you learn to recognize these 7 signs, everything changes. Instead of panic, you find peace. Instead of confusion, you discover clarity. Instead of helplessness, you gain the power to make your final weeks or months meaningful, surrounded by love rather than medical chaos. Knowledge becomes your greatest gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone who cares about you. Number 2, when your body stops asking for food. Have you noticed your clothes hanging looser lately, even though you haven't been trying to lose weight? For many seniors, the first sign that something deeper is changing isn't pain or weakness, but a quiet disappearance of pounds that seems to happen overnight. Your family might notice first, commenting that your face looks thinner or your rings slide off too easily. You might step on the scale and feel shocked by numbers you haven't seen in years. This isn't the same as losing your appetite during a bout with the flu or feeling less hungry during hot summer days. This is your body making a fundamental shift, like a house that stops drawing power from the electrical grid. Your digestive system, which has faithfully processed thousands of meals over your lifetime, begins to slow down and struggle. Food that once brought you pleasure now sits heavy in your stomach. Even your favorite dishes taste different, or perhaps taste like nothing at all. The hardest part for families is watching someone they love push away meals they used to enjoy. Adult children often feel desperate, pleading with their parent to eat just a few more bites, trying every favorite food and restaurant they can think of. But what they don't understand is that forcing food when the body has stopped asking for it can actually cause more discomfort than nourishment. Here's what you can do instead. Honor your body's signals by focusing on small amounts of foods that bring comfort rather than nutrition. A spoonful of ice cream might matter more than a full balanced meal. Sips of water or juice can keep your mouth comfortable without overwhelming your system. Let your loved ones know that this change isn't about giving up. It's about listening to your body's wisdom and shifting toward comfort rather than quantity. When you understand that decreased appetite is your body's natural way of preparing for what comes next, mealtimes can become about connection rather than consumption, about presence rather than pressure. Number 3, when rest becomes your body's full-time job. Remember when you used to wake up refreshed after 8 hours of sleep, ready to tackle whatever the day might bring. Now you might find yourself needing 12, 14, even 16 hours of rest, and still feeling like you're walking through thick fog. This isn't ordinary tiredness from a busy week or the kind of fatigue that coffee used to fix. This is your body making the profound decision to conserve every ounce of energy for the most essential functions of staying alive. You might notice that simple tasks that never required a second thought now feel like climbing mountains. Getting dressed becomes exhausting. Having a conversation leaves you drained. Even thinking clearly feels like trying to grasp soap with wet hands. Your family might worry that you're depressed or giving up, but what's actually happening is far more natural and purposeful. Think of your body like a house during a power shortage. When electricity becomes limited, you don't waste it on decorative lighting or running the dishwasher. You save every bit for the furnace and refrigerator, the things that truly matter for survival. Your body is making the same wise choices, pulling energy away from muscles, conversations, and mental sharpness to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and your essential organs functioning. The turning point comes when you stop fighting this fatigue and start working with it. Create a comfortable resting space with soft pillows and warm blankets. Let yourself sleep when your body asks for it, even if it's the middle of the afternoon. Ask your loved ones to visit during your alert hours, which might be different from what they used to be. Sometimes the most meaningful moments happen in quiet spaces, holding hands while you rest, sharing presence rather than words. This deep fatigue isn't your enemy. It's your body's way of gathering all its resources for the journey ahead, like a wise traveler who knows to rest before a long trip. Number 4, when every breath becomes precious. The rhythm of breathing has been so automatic for so long that you've probably never given it much thought. Breathe in, breathe out, 20,000 times a day for decades without effort or awareness. But now you might notice your breathing changing in ways that feel unfamiliar and sometimes frightening. Maybe you find yourself short of breath after walking to the mailbox. Or perhaps you notice long pauses between breaths that make your family hold their own breath in worry. These changes aren't random malfunctions. They're signs that your respiratory system is working harder to do what used to be effortless. You might experience what sounds like rattling or gurgling when you breathe, especially when lying down. Your chest might feel heavy, like someone is sitting on it. Sometimes your breathing becomes deep and slow, then shifts to quick and shallow, following patterns that seem to have their own mysterious logic. At the same time, you might notice that your hands and feet feel cold more often, or that your fingertips and lips take on a slightly bluish color. This happens because your circulation is changing priorities, sending blood to your most vital organs first. Your skin might develop a mottled appearance, with patches of different colors that come and go like clouds moving across the sky. These symptoms can be scary for both you and your loved ones, but there are ways to find comfort within them. Sitting upright often makes breathing easier than lying flat. A small fan creating gentle air movement can provide relief. Cool, damp cloths on your forehead or wrists can soothe the sensation of breathlessness. Most importantly, staying calm helps your breathing stay as regular as possible, since anxiety only makes everything more difficult. Your breathing has carried you through every moment of your life, and even as it changes, it continues to sustain you with remarkable resilience and grace. Number 5. When your skin tells its own story. Your skin has been your body's faithful guardian for decades, healing from cuts, protecting you from the elements, and maintaining itself with remarkable resilience. But now, you might notice it's changing in ways that seem almost artistic, developing patterns and colors that weren't there before. Purple and blue patches might appear on your arms and legs, creating a marbled effect that looks like watercolors bleeding into each other. These changes can be startling when you first notice them. You might discover bruises you don't remember getting, or find that small bumps or scrapes take much longer to heal than they used to. Your skin might feel thinner, more fragile, as if it's become delicate tissue paper rather than the strong barrier it once was. Family members sometimes worry these changes indicate pain or illness that needs immediate medical attention. But here's the deeper truth about what your skin is revealing. Just like autumn leaves change color when the tree begins preparing for winter, your skin is showing the natural effects of your circulation shifting its priorities. Your body is wisely sending blood and nutrients to your heart, lungs, and other vital organs first. The beautiful, strange patterns on your skin are actually evidence of your body's intelligence, not signs of something going wrong. The most important thing you can do is treat your skin with extra gentleness. Use soft fabrics that won't irritate or scratch. Keep your skin moisturized with gentle lotions. Ask family members to be careful when helping you move or change position, since your skin might be more sensitive than it appears. If you notice areas that seem uncomfortable, soft padding or cushions can provide relief. These skin changes are your body's way of showing you that it's shifting into a different phase, like a sunset painting the sky in colors that don't appear at any other time of day. Number 6. When silence becomes your preferred language. There was probably a time when you were the one organizing family gatherings, making phone calls to check on everyone, or enjoying long conversations with friends and neighbors. But now, you might find yourself choosing quiet more often, feeling less interested in social visits, and needing more space between interactions with even the people you love most. This shift towards solitude isn't about becoming antisocial or depressed. It's about your inner world requiring more attention than your outer world. Your family might feel hurt when you decline invitations or seem less engaged during conversations. They might interpret your quietness as rejection or assume you're angry about something. Adult children sometimes worry that you're giving up on life when actually you're doing something much more profound. You're turning inward, processing memories, relationships, and experiences in ways that require the kind of deep quiet that's impossible when you're constantly interacting with others. You might find yourself staring out windows for long periods, seemingly lost in thought. Or perhaps you sleep more during the day and feel more alert at night, when the house is peaceful and still. Sometimes you might feel like talking to people who aren't in the room, or mention seeing relatives who passed away years ago. These experiences aren't signs of confusion. They're signs that your consciousness is shifting toward a different kind of awareness. The most loving thing your family can do is respect your need for quiet without taking it personally. Brief visits might feel more comfortable than long gatherings. Sitting quietly together can be more meaningful than filling the silence with conversation. Sometimes just having someone nearby, reading or doing quiet activities, provides the perfect balance of connection and peace. This withdrawal is actually a form of preparation, like a butterfly spending time in its cocoon before emerging transformed. Number 7. When consciousness becomes a gentle tide. In your final phase of life, you might notice that being awake and being asleep don't feel as different as they used to. Consciousness might feel more like a gentle tide, flowing in and out rather than the clear on and off switch it once was. You might have moments of perfect clarity where you recognize everyone around you and engage in meaningful conversation, followed by periods where you seem to drift into a private world that others can't quite reach. During these quieter times, you might appear to be having conversations with people your family can't see, or you might seem to be looking at something just beyond their vision. Sometimes you might not recognize familiar faces, or you might mistake one family member for another from decades past. These experiences can be deeply unsettling for loved ones who want to connect with you and fear they're losing you before you're actually gone. But consciousness at the end of life follows its own mysterious logic. Your mind might be processing a lifetime of relationships, resolving old conflicts, or preparing for whatever comes next in ways that don't require full alertness to the present moment. Sometimes the conversations you have with unseen presences are more real and meaningful to you than the discussions happening in the room. What matters most during these fluctuating states is simple presence. Your loved ones don't need to bring you back to full awareness or correct your perceptions. Instead, they can speak gently, hold your hand, and trust that somewhere inside the tide of changing consciousness, you can feel their love and presence. Playing soft music, reading familiar poems or passages, or simply sitting quietly nearby can provide comfort even when you can't respond in traditional ways. Your consciousness is making its own journey now, sometimes touching the shore of this world, sometimes drifting toward horizons that only you can see. These 7 signs we've shared today aren't meant to frighten you or steal your peace. They're gifts of understanding, roadmaps that help you navigate one of life's most profound transitions with grace instead of panic. When you recognize these changes in yourself or someone you love, you're no longer walking in the dark. You have knowledge, and knowledge brings the power to choose comfort over chaos, presence over procedures, dignity over desperation. Think about what this means for you and your family. Instead of rushing to emergency rooms for every change, you can create sacred spaces filled with love. Instead of forcing food or demanding alertness, you can offer gentle touches and quiet presence. Instead of fighting against your body's natural wisdom, you can work with it, honoring the journey it's taking you on. This isn't about giving up. This is about living fully, even in your final chapter. It's about making choices that reflect your values, surrounded by the people who matter most. When families understand these signs, something beautiful happens. Fear transforms into acceptance. Anxiety becomes peace. Medical crises become opportunities for connection. Your body has carried you through decades of joys and sorrows. When it begins preparing for its final rest, it deserves the same respect and gentleness you'd give to any faithful friend. Which of these 7 signs spoke to you most deeply today? What conversation do you need to have with your loved ones? If this knowledge brought you peace or clarity, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment about your own experience. Your story might be exactly what another family needs right now. Until we meet again, remember that every ending is also a beginning, and every goodbye carries within it all the love that came before.